Welcome to Or Something Like That,
the podcast where you can talk shit with your besties.
We're your hosts, Sam
and Hollis. Be sure to follow us on social and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode.
And if you love us, give us that 5-star review.
To another ep. We just had a really great conversation and talked about all the things we were going to talk on the pod.
And then didn't record it.
Yeah, natch.
So we're still figuring this out. We got to always be recording.
Yeah. ABR.
Yeah, ABR. That's okay. All right. So what do we got?
What do we got? Well, yeah, just like another regular schmegular week for me. I'm planning a party for my mom tomorrow. It's her 70th birthday party.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm excited.
Super excited too. I love throwing parties for people. I just love making things special.
Yeah, it's
fun.
Nice.
So it'll be cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of the big thing for me. And then this will be out way after, but my brother's 40th birthday party is next weekend. So yeah. The summer's just really flying by.
I know, it really is. Somebody the other day said something about summer is just starting, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I feel like it's over.
July's half over, which I swear was July 1st yesterday.
I know. I know. I can't believe that my daughter's going to be 1.
Yeah, I cannot believe that either. She was born last month.
I know. I feel like I was just in the hospital having her. I don't even understand how this has happened. But speaking of kids, this is a kind of a good segue. I think I texted you about this already, but I feel like with kids, there's going to be conversations that are going to be difficult and they're going to be uncomfortable, and you can kind of prepare for like certain conversations and questions that are going to come up. Things about bodies and sex and where do babies come from and race and disability, just things that kids notice that they're going to ask about. And you can kind of prepare for that. I feel like it's the questions that you're not prepared for that are like the most difficult. So my 4-year-old asked, do we eat human meat?
Yes.
And I said, no, we don't. Why? And the first thing that popped into my head, I just said, well, it wouldn't be ethical.
Oh, she asked why we don't?
Yeah. She asked something about something, and I think I said, oh, that's pork or whatever. And she said, do we eat human meat?
Like, solid question?
Yeah. Yes, a valid question. And I said, no, we don't. And she said, why? And I said, well, it wouldn't be ethical. And of course, there are a million different reasons, but it's just that,
Yeah. And she was like, what's ethical?
Yeah. She's like, what's ethical? And then I spent like 5 minutes trying to explain ethical to her. And it was one of those things where the next thing I know, I'm on a 5-minute rant about integrity and conflict of interest and all these things. And I realize at this point, I'm kind of so in my head, like trying to explain this, that I haven't even really looked at her. So then I look at her and her face is just like, what are you talking about? And I said, does any of this make sense? And she said, not really.
And you're like, all right.
And it's one of those things where, like I said before, you can kind of prepare for certain things. And there's a lot of information out there about how you don't want to avoid questions, and you want to always try to be honest with them and answer things honestly, and obviously in a way that's age appropriate, which can sometimes be really hard to do. You want to be as matter of fact as possible and kind of establish yourself as the expert in these things, especially when it comes to like bodies and sex and stuff like that, because you don't want them asking other people, like,
right, or be ashamed.
Well, yeah, you don't want them to be ashamed, but you also don't want to just avoid it and be like, oh, I don't know, or oh, we'll talk about that when you're older, because
they'll go elsewhere.
They're gonna think you don't know, and they'll go elsewhere. So I always really try to like answer, and so ethics is it's a little high concept. It's kind of like, yeah, So when I finally look at her and she has this face of, what are you talking about? And I said, does any of this make sense? And she said, not really. I was just like, well, I don't know then. And she was just like, okay. And like just went on, and that was it.
That's so funny because I think about that a lot in parenting. I'm like, well, there's so many things that, like, when my kids ask me questions, like, I'm supposed to know everything. What do I do when my kid asks me a question I don't know the answer?
And you get dumb real quick. Yeah. Like, sometimes they'll ask something and you're like, why do I suddenly not know the definition of this word? You know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden, I'm the dumbest person on the planet. I don't know. And sometimes, too, I think you forget that they are smart and capable and they can understand so much more sometimes, I think, than we realize. But yeah, you do. You become dumb real quick, where it's like, oh my God, why am I struggling to describe the word? I can't think of an example now, but it'll be like the most normal word or something that we use all the time. She'll be like, well, what does this mean? And I'm like,
Well, that's what's so crazy about our brains, is because you're like, there's a lot of things where it's like, I know in my mind what it is.
Right.
I can think of like scenarios.
But it's also because
articulating it is
difficult.
A whole nother.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you kind of take for granted sometimes your own experience and the fact that, like, okay, well, I am 5 times her age and I've lived way more life, and so I've experienced this and I understand this because I'm just older and I just know this. Right. Well, but it's like, how do I explain it to you in a way that you're gonna understand it? And most of the time you figure it out, but every once in a while it's just like I'm just gonna chalk it up right now to I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and it's so much like things can be explained to you, but you don't truly learn something until you experience it.
Yeah.
And somebody's like, well, that's unethical. And you're like, oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That now it makes sense.
Right.
I could read you the definition of unethical and you could be like, oh,
right.
Yeah. All right. But,
right.
Yeah.
And I try to avoid context. Just like, exactly. That's what I'm trying to give her context, but it's so difficult when you're just trying to explain context as opposed to them having lived context of any kind.
And the eating human meat thing's so funny too, because she goes to nature school and like knows a lot about animals already, and most animals eat each other.
Yes.
You know,
like a lot of animals are cannibals. Yeah, a lot of them are.
We're kind of rare in that,
right? And I feel like at one point too, I was talking about like the fact that like we have civilization and society, and like we have this whole
sentient beings and emotional. We have
this whole like existential thing that like other animals don't have, and she's just like what?
You're also like, it's also our meat is very gamey and chewy. It's not delicious from what cannibals have told us. So
I mean, we can ask Army. I don't know.
Army, how is it?
Oh man. But anyway,
that's funny.
That was kind of a funny one.
Oh my God, I was just watching this Instagram video. This shit terrifies me, where it's like this woman it was an Instagram like short doc video of this woman who had like a scrape on her finger, came back, her dog licked it, her dog had this like rare bacteria.
Oh my God.
And she went into a 10-day coma and they had to amputate her arms and legs.
Oh my God.
I was just like, it's like most dogs have this. It's like, it's just like a rare 1 in a million chance that like your body can't fight it off.
That's crazy.
It's like, oh my God. And like, those are the things on the internet where you're just like, man, is it good that we have all this information?
Yeah. Like, should we know about this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then it's like,
now I'm just terrified.
Dog's gone. I'm still going to give my dog away now.
Yeah, exactly. That happened to my dad, too.
I was going to say, and your mom said something about a hangnail.
He had a hangnail on his thumb, and just something got in it, like some sort of bacteria, and he got a crazy staph infection. One of those things where, like, you know, he felt like he had the flu. They went, they're like, okay, you have this infection. Like, if you get the red line up your arm,
then that's
like, come back immediately. And sure enough, my mom woke up to him like shivering and sweating at night, and he rolled over and he did, and he was in the hospital for like 5 days.
Yeah.
They had to like, go in, like take this huge chunk out of his thumb to like
get rid of the infection. Yeah.
And, like, my dad is just like never sick, super healthy, you know, just like never, doesn't have any problems, and just you just never fucking know. Yeah,
it reminds me of the red line. My old boss that I used to work with, she's like, yeah, I literally got cat scratch fever.
Yes.
She was somewhere, she got scratched by a cat, and it was the same thing. Like, she was not feeling well. It like wasn't healing, and then the red line happened, and she had to go and like get it all like cleaned out. It was crazy. And they're like, yeah, you got a bad infection.
Scary. Well, it's like, no wonder people were dropping like flies in centuries where we didn't have antibiotics. And that's what people who are like, antibiotics are the worst thing that ever happened to the world and like modern medicine. Like, are you kidding me?
Antibiotics are one of the best things that's ever happened to us. Are you kidding?
What?
Yeah.
Like, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Like, you think that until you're the one who needs the antibiotics. Right. And you change your tune real quick when you're like, oh, I guess I'm just going to die from this infection.
Well, and speaking of people dropping like flies, and like a long time ago, we were talking about this earlier. Why is House of Dragon exactly the same as Game of Thrones? Okay, so just hear me out on this. And this is probably going to be old news by the time this comes out. House of Dragon will probably be over, but we know everybody's watching it. Everybody watched Game of Thrones. It's set 172 years or something like that before Game of Thrones. Why is everything exactly the same? Yeah. Like, the way they live their lives, exactly the same. The way they dress, exactly the same. I mean, fashion changes like every 15 to 25 years, even in the old times. Like, when you look at like the Gilded Age and what they're wearing versus what they're wearing in Downton Abbey, which is only set like 40 years later, it's so different. Everything is exactly the same. Right. They've made no advancements.
Yeah. Like, get it together, guys.
And you were talking with, I think, was it you that were talking about the names? How it's like so hard to
Oh my God. They're all the fucking same.
Okay, but like, can we please laugh about Gwaine? I mean, okay, like, you have all these names where it's like Lucerius, Jacaerys, like Aegon, all these names that are like obviously they've been thought about as far as like, how are we going to kind of curate these lines and these people? And then you just have Wayne with a G thrown on the beginning to get Gwaine?
Where's Gwarth?
Exactly. Like, Gwaine? Really? I mean, when she was like, this is my brother Gwaine, I'm like, what? I don't.
Yeah, the names are tough, and like, I'm sure if I read the books it'd be easier, but man, I get lost so fast because I'm just like, who the fuck? Wait, that's not the same person? Just like so many syllables, so many consonants, and they're all so similar.
Yeah, and some of them are just the same. Yeah, it's like Viserys, and then you go to Game of Thrones, Viserys. Yeah. I mean, they're just like, there's other names, guys. Right. I mean, yeah. Anyway.
There's Wayne and there's Gwaine. And
there's Wayne and Gwaine. There's Garth and Gwarth. Oh my gosh.
That's funny. Yeah, and someone needs to up the lighting budget too, because I can never fucking see anything either. It's always dark as shit.
It's dark. We know that
unless there's somebody sucking somebody's dick in a brothel. That's very well lit from all directions. Which, if you haven't watched that episode, you're in for a
real
shocking treat. I did. I went, oh! Like an old woman. I was like, damn, even for an HBO, like, this is next level.
It's like softcore porn.
Yeah.
It's like, what is the point?
I know. And
what's the point?
It's not like I was offended or I was like, oh, they shouldn't be showing this. But it was just like weird shock value.
It added nothing to the story.
It was like the saddest blowjob of all time. You could tell she was just like, I don't want to be doing this.
And I mean, she didn't.
Yeah, I mean, she's a brothel, like, obviously. But it was just like, and then they just, held on the blow.
There was a lingering shot for sure.
Oh, yeah. It was like, I want to say it was like 8 seconds, which is long to just be watching somebody half suck somebody's dick.
For no reason.
No, exactly. No reason.
Like, what value did it add?
It was the same thing when Amy was naked, standing up naked, where it's just like, okay, right. Get it. Again, held very long. And it's just like, what are you trying to show here? Like, what are you trying to prove with this scene? Like,
right. And listen, I get that, like, yes, there's been lots of women's bodies shown over the years, and yeah, it is due time for the men to have
the dong to hang.
Yes,
we get it.
But however, I at least feel most of the female nudity is at least more contextual, where it's like they're either engaged in sex, where a lot of times if you're shooting a sex scene, it's hard to shoot that from an angle where that's not showing. And I do realize there's a lot of full frontal female nudity in HBO as well, and has been in Game of Thrones. There's not been so much in House of Dragon.
No, and full frontal nudity for a woman,
it's not as aggressive.
It's always just her bush.
Yeah.
It's never like her legs are spreading.
Yeah.
Which I guess that's just like the difference in the male and female anatomy. Is like if you're
dicks
if you're
are more
dog,
aggressive.
You're
They just
dong.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But it is. But it is. It's like it always feels very aggressive. Where it's just like, here's this dick.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, why though?
Why exactly? And like. Also, I feel like if I was that actor, I would just be, and I'd be like, no, like, why do I need to just show for like no real reason?
Yeah, and it does.
I don't
when
know.
You're like, do you think that was real? That didn't even cross my mind.
Oh, the blowjob? I definitely
like,
think
that was.
Do we think it's
that?
real?
I don't know.
Is the blowjob real or is it CGI?
I feel like it has to be.
I feel like it has to be too.
Or if it wasn't, it has to be a prosthetic.
Yeah, that's true. It could be that.
Like, can you imagine
sucking
doing that?
a prosthetic? How bizarre! I don't know. How bizarre.
I mean, yeah, that'd be so fucking weird. It has to be. At this day and age, it'd be so easy to like CGI that.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I mean, how many actors would be like, oh yeah, we'd love to hire you for this
part.
Yeah,
we need some extras for this thing.
The one thing is, all we need you to do is half suck this guy's dick for about 12 seconds.
Right.
And she's like, oh, okay.
And then the guy, it's like, we just need you to get hard and stand here. Like, what? Like, I don't.
No, that can't be what's happening.
It can't be what's going on.
There's no way.
We'll
I feel like there's so
We'll
many,
Google that and get back to you. We'll circle back on that.
There's gotta be so many legality issues for that. Like,
I would think. I mean, I don't know. And we were talking about this with Euphoria, and I realized that the actors playing these people are likely of age. Likely. But these are also like high school students in the show, and I feel like the older I get, the harder it is for me to like watch these quote unquote children in these super sexualized roles where it's like,
I know it is very fucked up. Like,
it's very
and because you watch it and you're like, you kind of forget that like they're supposed to be in high school because they're so clearly not high school age,
right?
You know, and you get swept up in the story, and like you know Zendaya's in almost 30,
right?
You know most of these actors, but then when you stop and think, you're like, oh, I just watched two 16-year-olds have sex,
right? I know.
If we're following the story, which is like,
and not even just have sex, but like these super, like the one girl's like a cam girl, and you're like, oh my God, like, I don't know. And like, I get that certain things give value to the narrative. You know, and that is probably one of them. And that's a big part of her character in that show. Right. So got it. But it's like we were talking about back to House of Dragon before they aged up again. I think it was the first age up, not the second, when he's like masturbating out the window.
Yeah.
And I think he's supposed to be there. It's supposed to be like 12 or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and I'm just like, I don't like, and I know the kid that was playing him was not 12 or whatever, but he wasn't that old.
Yeah.
I mean, he couldn't have been more than 19 or 20. And for me, at the age that I'm at now, that's a child.
Yeah.
That's a child to me.
Right.
And it's just, I feel like the older I get, the more I'm struggling with that part of it.
Oh, yeah. Like, I know. And it's like...
is it really necessary for the story? I don't know.
Yeah, I felt like the jerk-off scene definitely wasn't.
I don't know.
That, to me, played no relevance.
Yeah.
Like, all right, you could show that he's, like, a careless kid.
Right.
In a lot of different ways. That, it's just kind of like, okay. It's just, I feel like it's almost like HBO just has, like, a sex quota they have to meet with every...
That's kind of what it feels like a little bit. And I get that they're like, they've always been cutting edge, if you will. And like, they've always, you know, even Sex and the City was wild when it first came out, you know, and it's so tame now thinking about like even watching, I mean, I know it's been syndicated and like, but the unedited HBO versions, it's so tame compared to.
But even then, like their sex scenes were very story driven.
Yes.
You know, they were all, it was never just like, here's sex for no reason. It was like worked into the story.
Exactly.
You know? And it's just like, I don't mean to sound like a prude. It's not that like viewing sex makes me uncomfortable.
No.
It's just when it's so irrelevant.
Yes. That's the point.
It's
it's irrelevant dongs. That's when it's like, where have we gone? Why? Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like justice for women to an extent because, like we've been showing our bodies for a long time and men haven't. And so, that part, great, good. That's good, I think. But let's just like make it a little more contextual. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah. For instance, that Eamon scene. They could have just had him walk by.
Yeah.
But no, they had him stand and like he was up on standing up with his hips thrusted out for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we got it.
Yeah.
Like, this just seems like you're trying to make a point. But but I don't know what the point is.
And he could have just gotten up and walked past, and it was there, and that's fine. But it didn't need to be showcased.
Right. Yeah. It's just kind of like, all right, we get it.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You've been watching Fallen Idols. Did you finish it?
That's the Carter thing? Yes, I finished it. Oof, what a doozy. Oh my gosh. I mean, where do we even start?
I don't know. I felt like stories were very credible.
Oh, 100%. My first feeling was just like, wow, this family.
Right.
The whole family. Like, what a catastrophe.
Yeah.
But Aaron Carter, absolutely. I feel like all of those were credible. I don't doubt for a second that any of those happened. You mean Nick? Or Nick Carter. Sorry. Yeah. I don't doubt that any of those happened for a second.
Right.
The one you had asked about, the one woman who was autistic.
Yeah, the most recent one. And I remember when that one came out, because I feel like that's the only one that really got a lot of media traction. I remember when that story came out, and I was like, this is kind of wild. But I never really followed up on it or read about it or anything. I just remember the headlines and stuff. And then I honestly just kind of didn't really give it any more thought until this documentary came out. Obviously, we saw in the meantime that Aaron Carter had died. And I remember seeing a few headlines about that. I didn't know until I watched the documentary that the sister had died
previously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really know that either. And I had also, I had never heard of any of these allegations before.
I did hear the most recent allegations from the autistic girl. So when I watched the documentary, I hadn't heard nothing about the previous 2 allegations. Yeah. Everything, I don't doubt for a second that any of it happened. My only thing I feel like was strange was the story with the autistic girl. There was just no information about how it went from, she's telling the story and she's saying she didn't even want to go to the concert. And then her friend asked her to go. She goes to the concert with her friend, and then it just goes from her not wanting to go to the concert to going to the concert with her friend to just being on the bus with Nick Carter.
I know, because
there was no and to me, it's like, where's the friend in all this?
Or how do you even go from just being just a random person
at the concert
to meeting him,
right,
to him inviting you back to his bus? Yeah, there wasn't enough
information about that.
That was weird.
I don't
it was just not that I don't believe that it happened. I just don't understand.
Same. From what I remember, she's like, yeah, I didn't even really want to go to the concert, and then my friend asked me to go. We went, and then it's almost like, and then I'm standing there with Nick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because to me, it's like, where's the friend in all this? Because if I'm with my friend who's autistic, regardless of where she falls on the spectrum, I'm not just like, oh, bye.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't, what? I don't, there was a lot. I just didn't understand that part. I'm what, how did you go from point A to point B?
Right.
Where's the details here?
It's you don't just go to a concert and meet the guy.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah. And again, I'm not disputing her claims.
No, me neither.
Out of curiosity, would love to know.
Yeah. I want the details of
transpired.
Exactly. Yeah, me too. Because the other 2 from the beginning, it was very clear how they were involved with him.
Yeah.
And this just seems very much like random fan, not even fan, just somebody who ended up at the concert and then with him on the bus.
Yeah. Yeah. It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like that was supposed to be the clincher accusation. Really see it, put the nail in the coffin. But it was also
wait a minute,
I'm
what?
Confused. Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. He seems like a total creep.
And it's just one of those things too, where it's and I get it, I guess, I don't know. It's their livelihood. It's, but it's just, it seems like sort of unflinching support from the rest of the band and everything. And it's
and the industry and
yeah.
And it was so weird. It was
and the fans.
Oh yeah.
That part was wild to me. Cause listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a huge BSB fan. Like when I was coming of age, it was like you were either NSYNC or Backstreet Boys, and like that was it. And like you didn't like both, and that was it. And my group of girlfriends, we were Backstreet Boys like through and through. It was the second concert I ever went to in Indianapolis, the Millennium Tour. It was fabulous. But I ain't supporting it.
Hell no.
I mean,
well, and that's what's
never would I come out against somebody making an allegation just because I'm a fan of a band. Like, that is so crazy to me. Like, what?
The psychology of it is so fascinating because it's really like, if you admit, as I feel like a lot of people think like, oh, because a lot of those fans are like, you were a Backstreet Boys fan, but these are fans that are like a different level of fandom where it's like so in love with a specific one, especially where it's like,
I was a Kevin girly, but.
Oh, really? Kevin?
Kevin,
I mean, he was the older, more.
Well, my husband's 12 years older than me, so, he was
Yeah.
like 30 when I was 14, so it makes sense.
But, it's like if you admit that this person did this, then you have to admit that you were attracted and in love with
a predator.
A predator, yeah.
I guess.
Like, I'm not saying that makes it right, but like, the psychology of it is interesting in that instead of just saying like, oh yeah, that was fucked up.
Yeah, not being able to like
down.
compartmentalize those things, like, because two things can be true at the same time.
That's what's so weird about fandom like that. Though,
yeah,
where it's just like you are so in love with this person who you have zero connection with. Zero.
Yeah,
and like you have built this fantasy in your head that like you are. I mean, that kind of goes into baby reindeer territory.
Yeah,
where it's just like it's not healthy.
No,
I don't think. And like it's. All young girls go through not all, but a lot of young girls go through a phase like that. Like I mean, I was celebrity boy crazy when I was younger.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then, like, a lot of these women are like in their 30s. Like,
well,
because
that's the
they were
thing
attracted
now.
to them when they were young.
Yeah,
but it hasn't.
These women are my age. A lot of them.
But it hasn't
happening?
Dissipated at all.
I guess not.
It's
I don't know.
Like you're gonna harass a person online.
And I guess like
in love with the guy with the Backstreet Boy you were in love with when you were 12.
And I may not be like keeping the timeline perfect because I'm trying to remember that first girl that was really getting a lot of hate online that was also in like a female pop group, which I don't remember them at all.
Me either.
What was it called? Dream Girls?
Oh,
no.
Dream. It was
Dream?
I vaguely remember. I think they had like one song, but they weren't huge.
Right. So I guess I can't remember exactly like the timeline of when she was really getting a lot of hate online, but I feel like it was not when we were 16. It's we've aged.
Yeah.
Like these fans that are like going after her are not 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just
so intense.
Yeah.
And just like I thought one of the parts of the doc that like really stuck with me too was like this back and forth that Aaron did where like he was very he came out against his brother and then
kind of backtracked. Yeah,
it's just like, oh god, I can only imagine what was actually going on. And like
his story is just so sad,
tragic.
I mean well, and I mean I think we've seen enough to know that this whole like child stardom thing is not
horrible.
It's not good.
You don't want to be a child.
No, I don't think it's healthy for adults to have that much fame and so much attention and people knowing your every move and all your business and
being sexualized,
let alone a child.
Yeah.
I mean, your frontal lobe's not fully developed. I mean, it's just crazy until you're like 25. And
it's like so many of these stories, it comes out that like the people that are supposed to love and care for you and look out for you the most are the ones that are
fucking you over.
Most advantage of you.
Yeah.
It's like it's always like Britney Spears, prime example.
Yeah, parents, managers, agents, all these adults in your life that are supposed to have this fiduciary responsibility to you, and
they're the ones orchestrating all of it. I mean, I don't know how you resolve that.
I don't either, because some of them they are older, like Kevin and Brian, and some of like Howie. Howie.
Howie was sweet Howie.
And
I feel like he's the most attractive now. Anyways.
Well, I actually have a joke about this with a text thread with my girlfriends. Like somebody said something about like Howie's like looking pretty good now, and I was like, that's because now like Howie's like the non-fuck boy that nobody cared about when we were 14, but now that we're like older and more mature, like now Howie looks like the good option. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's growth, you know? We've evolved. He's the safe option.
Oh my God.
But I think too sometimes about what that must be like as a guy in your mid to late 20s and your fan base is 12, 13, 14-year-old girls.
Oh, I know.
That's beyond.
Well, and that's the thing is like, this is in by no means, I don't want this to be misconstrued as like giving him a pass, but like, yeah, all of your fans, all these girls who are all over you are young girls, and everyone around you is telling you, yes.
And this is a detail that we missed. That second girl, nobody is talking about the fact that she was like 15
years old. I know.
Not age of consent.
No.
That
crazy.
Is,
I know, that's totally different. That's another. And like that should have been the one that blew up.
Absolutely. And her mom made a police report.
I know.
And
crazy.
The fact that like, and it's almost glazed over a little bit in the documentary about the fact like, she's 15.
I know. And like, I don't care what year it was. And I don't care.
I don't
who
either.
You are. If you're a 22-year-old man or however old he was,
25,
25,
I think he was like, I don't know if he was, he wasn't that old at the time, but he was definitely like 20, 19 or 20. He was over 18, 100%.
And 15 is a huge gap.
Yes. Because 16 is the age of consent in a lot of states, but 15, no way.
Absolutely
You're
not.
a minor.
And
you cannot legally consent.
And it was corroborated by a lot of people. A lot of people saw it.
Yeah.
Like she said, people were watching her.
Yeah.
It's like it's not like it was a he said, she said.
Because it was on the boat, right? Yeah. I'm sorry, but like even if his argument is that it was consensual, you cannot legally consent at 15. Yeah.
No, 100%.
And I don't know how that was not prosecuted.
No,
I don't understand how charges weren't brought.
Because the patriarchy.
I know.
It's like don't care. Nobody cared. And I mean, and it's sad that like that mom either didn't know or didn't have the resources to
fully pursue
it.
No.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Like my daughter was 15. I don't care what happened to like.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't think she had enough power in her corner. I mean, it's just, I mean,
it's unfortunate because she was obviously concerned.
Yes.
She made a fucking police report. You know, knew it was not okay.
Oh my God.
I know. It is crazy to think like, you know, we still have so much work to do, but like how different things were
even just 20 years ago. Yeah, I know. 15 years ago, whatever it was. Yeah. Yeah,
it's really crazy. Sad. And the whole like Epstein Island-ish thing about their island or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that's so horrible and creepy.
And you know how many were out there?
Yeah.
A lot. And probably a lot that we've heard about and a lot that
I'm sure
we haven't heard about.
Oh, yeah.
People in power, celebrities, musicians, all these people who have all this money and power. It's an epidemic. And I think that there's way more people involved in this than we think. And it's sick.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You know, and people do keep getting exposed. I mean, you know, the P. Diddy of it all and Epstein, all these people that are being implicated and, you know, getting caught. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, I think. You know, like, I think it goes so deep. I'm
sure there are circles like that everywhere. I mean, in
every country.
Rich
people.
Yeah.
I think it's global.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, it's dark. That took a dark turn. Yeah, sorry, guys.
Hey, you know.
I know.
Has to be discussed.
All right. Oh, one thing I wanted to discuss. Okay, I want to know like what kind of anxiety dreams you're having. And I want to know from the listeners. And I have these from time to time. I feel like we all have the ones where you like are in college and you realize you've like forgotten about a class for an entire semester, or you just show up to class and it's the final and you're like, what? And you fail it. Or sometimes I like can't find the classroom Yeah. You know, like I'm like wandering around the school and I think I'm supposed to go to this class, but like can't find it. But I've been having this one where in my dream, I'm like with my romantic partner and I'm like going along in the dream and everything is seemingly normal. And then all of a sudden I have this realization of like, I don't like you. Like, ooh. It's not, this isn't you. Who is, like, no, I don't like you. I'm not in love with you. Like, what is happening?
Oh, man, that's a horrible feeling.
And it's always just like, you don't really know who it is. It's almost like you can't fully see them or something.
Yeah.
And then I make this realization and I'm like, I'm breaking up with you. This isn't right. Something's not right, but I like can't quite put my finger on it. So then I break up with the person and then it's just like a new scene, you know how it changes. And then all of a sudden I'm like, yes, this is the person. And I'm like walking towards the person and it's an ex-boyfriend. And there's like a little thing goes off where I'm like, because of the familiarity, I'm like, okay, yeah. And then I'm like, no, there's still something off. No, this isn't right either. And then I wake up and I go, oh, thank God I'm married to Kurt. It's Kurt. I'm married to Kurt.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I'm like, why am I having this dream, this anxiety dream of like being with this person who is not my person?
Yeah, I mean, the why, you'll probably never know why.
Who knows?
Brains are crazy, but that is nice to know that you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm with the right one. Yeah. Not like, oh, fuck, I'm with the wrong one. That your dream isn't like, run.
I know, right. Oh, my God.
That's so funny you bring that up, though, because I've had a couple nights of anxiety dreams recently. And this one where I was at work, I got to work and my computer screen and my laptop had been stolen, and so had my other coworkers. And we were like, fuck. And we were like, it was one of those dreams where you're like, you're running around the office and you're talking to people and they're not responding. And you're like, how do I figure out this problem? And you're like, it's just escalating, like the severity. And then I look at my phone dings, and the person who stole my laptop has stolen my identity. Because I was like, they have all my information. It's my laptop. Like, they can get into everything. All my fucking passwords are saved. No. And I'm just watching the numbers of my bank accounts drain. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm just making circles around the office. And my coworker's like, you need to figure this out. You need to fix this. And I'm like, I'm trying. So I call the guy who is his job to like take care of those things. And he watches the camera, the security camera, and then he finds the guy and gets my laptop back and the things after like what feels like an eternity.
But it's like only 25 seconds of REM sleep. Yeah.
But the funny part is that he shows up in the parking lot of our work with a giant check.
like what's that thing where you enter and they show up at your house?
Yeah.
The sweepstakes housing.
Yeah. He shows up with a giant check. He's like, I figured it out. He's like, I found the guy. He's like, and this is all the money that he stole. And gave me a giant check.
Well, that's a good ending.
It's really funny, yeah. But it was very anxiety driven for a while.
I mean, I feel like all I have are anxiety dreams, and they have different levels of severity. Like sometimes it's just like annoying and you're like, oh, this is just annoying. Sometimes they're like really like, I'm like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah. And sometimes do you ever have those ones where you feel lucid and you're like, I can't wake up?
Yes.
And you're like, oh,
and you realize in the dream, like, this is a dream. And like, and you know, you're kind of aware of it, but you still can't like come out of it. Yeah. And I also like, other than that one that I just described, most of my anxiety dreams are not like relevant to my current life. It's either college or like waiting tables and my section is just growing exponentially. I can't get to people.
Oh my God, he said that dream all the time. And it would be like 10 years later. I hadn't worked at Yogi's for 10 years.
We haven't worked in a restaurant in 15 years. Yeah.
Every once in a while I'll still get them.
Oh, I still get them. Yeah. Yeah. And it's always like, sometimes it'll be where I take everyone's order and then I go and I'm like trying to pour a beer and like I can't find it, and then I realize I've taken like 17 orders and I haven't rang anything in, and I'm like, people are gonna be pissed.
I used to have this one where it would be like those big high top tables and it would be like a 16 top, and I would have all the food and I'd be passing out the food and the sauces, And I would watch people flood in, but the food would never, that I had to pass out would never stop. So I would just like continuously.
Like a conveyor belt of food.
I was like, everybody's like, give me my food. And I was just watching the place fill up, and I was like, it's never stopping. I was like, I'm never going to be able to leave this table. Like, there's too many ranches. There's so many sauces to pass out.
So many ramekins.
And then, when I lived in New Orleans, I had this have you ever had a reoccurring dream?
Oh, yeah. I had 2 reoccurring dreams about my parents' divorce. We can get into that on a later date.
Yeah, that's deep. Mine was like, didn't really have any reference to anything in my life. I was in this brick maze building. And it got to the point where it's like I could start when I was having it, because I started having it so many times, where I would realize in the dream.
Yeah, I did that too.
I'm in this dream again. Because I would wake up and I would be like, I've had that dream before, you know? And then I'd have it so often where when I was in the dream, I was like, I'm in the dream again. And I could start to like control it almost.
Yeah.
It was wild.
What was it?
Oh, sorry.
You haven't told the dream.
Well, there really wasn't that much to it. Honestly, I was in this like brick maze building, and I was trying to find my way out, and then I would come across these like different plants and things, and like there really wasn't a lot to it. But it was
you couldn't get out.
Yeah. It was weird.
Well, and I kept thinking, like, as a parent now, and like, who knows, maybe they're coming. I have them about bartending and waiting tables, have them about college. I have them, of course, about like my middle school friends, or it's like everybody's mad at me. We're on some like trip, and it's like we're trying to choose rooms or something, and everybody's talking amongst themselves, and I'm like, guys, hey, what rooms are we gonna choose? Everybody's ignoring me. It's like the sandbox dream. Like, nobody will play with me in the sandbox, you know? I'm like, okay. But I never have dreams about the current. I never have dreams really about my kids. I never have dreams about my professional career, which is the most recent career I've had.
Yeah.
I never have dreams about the job that I do now, like outside of my kids with our real estate business. Like, I don't, it's strange. And so I wonder if that's a common theme. I'd like to know from listeners and people, when you have anxiety dreams, are they about your current life, or are they about your past? Because mine are almost exclusively at least 15 years past or more.
Yeah. Yeah, mine recently have been of what I'm going through. But mine are also like the ones I remember, like when I wake up and then I go back to sleep, and you know, you have those like crazy lucid dreams. Yeah. That's when all my anxiety dreams are, I feel like. Yeah. It's like when my brain is almost like clicked on, and I'm starting to think about like
stuff,
the shit I'm actually anxious about in my current life. But
well, anyway, I mean, we can talk more about that. Comment or like DM us and let us know, like, what are you dreaming about? Because I know another common one is the teeth falling out. I've never had that one.
I've had that a couple times, but and it's horrifying.
I'm sure.
I'm
probably gonna have it now that I'm talking about it, but yeah,
because I mean, like, it's one of those things where it's so real, and let's just like imagine that was actually happening to you. No, fucking a nightmare. Yeah, and it was.
Yeah, it legit was a nightmare. Okay, what do we got? Grapes and gripes.
Yeah. So, my gripe is to, I'm not even going to say the name right. It's delivery grocery store third-party apps. I'm sick of them. I had an experience with, it wasn't a third-party one. Like, I guess we shouldn't say the names of these companies on here.
In case they want to sponsor the pod, you never know.
But I had to order cakes, and like I ordered them online for this party I'm planning. They were like, pick up here. And I was like, great. I was kind of surprised, because I was just like, oh, meaning they're already ready. I'm going to purchase them and go pick them up. So when I get there the next day and they make you choose a time slot, show up at my time, and the baker lady's like, we don't have that order. And I was like, oh, well, let me pull up my thing. Like, maybe I'm at the wrong Kroger. Like, sure enough, no. They're like, we don't have that order. And I'm like, okay, well, what? And so she gets the other baker, and the other baker's like, okay, well, what probably happened is that did you order it on Clicklist? And I was like, I don't know what that is.
I went to Kroger.com and I ordered these cakes.
And it said you had this many cakes in stock, and I chose 2 and then paid for them. And they said to pick them up here at 10. And they were like, oh, okay. So what happened is you ordered off Clicklist, which is Kroger's like order ahead and they get it ready for you and then you can pick it up thing. It's like, except for these cakes are specialty cakes that you have to order ahead of time. They don't keep them in stock. They make them per order. It's like, so that shouldn't have even been an option on the website. It's like, that's a mistake. This has been happening a lot lately. And I was like, all right, great, cool, whatever, not the end of the world. But the thing that was annoying was that, like, they're like, oh yeah, so the guy just replaced it with these other cakes. They don't notify you. They're not like, hey, actually, turns out we don't have these cakes. They just automatically, like, this dude, this like 17-year-old kid just picks out something else close to it and then waits for you to show up the day of and be like, oops, sorry, this is what we got for you instead. And I was just like, all right, well, I don't want those.
Right.
You know, it's like not the end of the world, but it's also just like, it's just so annoying. That's why it's a gripe, because it's like, I get it.
Yeah.
These services have a purpose, but man, are they fucking annoying sometimes. And I really want them to get rid of those big ass fucking carts that are in every aisle taking up all the space, like almost knocking you down. I'm just like, I get
your Clicklist cart out of here.
Yeah, like I get it. It's convenient for
Take
people.
your shopping cart back to the corral.
Yeah.
Get your Clicklist cart out of the aisle.
Like, makes me sound like an old fucking curmudgeon. So I'm like, remember the days you could just go to the grocery store and get what you need and leave? But like, God, sometimes I'm like, damn it, this is so complicated.
Right. I know. It is one of those things where we have all this technology, and most of the time it's great. And it's like, if that shouldn't be an option, where's the IT guy? Where's the coder? Yeah. Get him in here and take the option off.
Right.
Why? Like, that's the part that really gets me. It's like, okay, if it shouldn't be an option, then why is it an option? Fucking an option?
And that's the thing, like, I could tell, you know, obviously I was not rude to these women.
Right, it's not their fault.
Not their fault. And honestly, they're probably enduring the most
the brunt
this.
Of all of this. Yeah,
because she was like, this has been happening a lot lately, and I was like, I hope you're complaining to your superior.
That's the thing,
so that your superior is complaining to somebody else.
Who's the person that's doing something about it? That's what I want to know. Like, why can we not fix it?
Yeah,
we have all like, listen, I'm a millennial. I didn't get on the tech train. You know, I'm learning as I go. But I feel like somebody could get in there, write a little code, do a little thing, make a little algorithm, and just fix that. Right. Takes it.
Just takes it. Just takes it.
Just
off.
takes it. Takes it off. Take it off.
I know. And you know, when we're talking about the Instaclick or whatever the fuck it's called,
Instacart
is different. No, what's it called?
There's Clicklist and there's Instacart.
Also, Clicklist is a horrible name.
Instaclick.
Clicklist is a horrible name. It's too many L's. Too close. The words are too close to each other. Okay, so that is Kroger's.
It's their service.
Yeah,
it's in-house. It's not a third-party service.
I don't have as big a qualms with, except for the giant carts that are everywhere. Those are annoying as shit.
But that's what you were using.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But my real qualm is with the bigger issue, why I bring this up, is what we were talking about earlier. The third-party ones are really fucking terrible because they don't pay their employees shit.
Right.
You know, and like you have experience.
Yeah, I worked
for
Instacart for a little while.
And they're ripping
We'll tell those
off.
stories one day. Yeah.
It's like those are the real travesties of this topic, and also just makes me, you know, having those experiences and thinking about stuff makes me think more about just like a larger idea, which is just like this country and this world's obsession with convenience, and like, which also makes me sound like a huge curmudgeon because like I get it. It's not like I don't,
and it's not like we don't use them
at all times. I just like introspectively, I think maybe I should always be working towards like maybe the most convenient thing isn't always the best, and like are there how do we balance like, you know, the things we use in this world that makes life convenience but are also making life harder for others, or using so many resources, or you know, that are in the long run wreaking more havoc than good. And we've like, is convenience a justification for a lot of the things that we have in this world?
And to just expand on that, we get so used to these conveniences that then when inevitably something happens and they don't work, it's like we become useless. Yeah, I know. And so, you know, it's like, it's those little experiences in life that make me like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Like, do we need people to like, do I need to be able to just pre-order my cake online and go pick it up? Probably not. Yeah. But yeah, anyways. So that was my gripe, and my grape was stupid.
Really stupid. Fresh cut flowers.
I love a fresh cut flower.
I love them so much. I mean, they just fucking make me so happy.
I mean, we went to the farmer's market at 9 so you could get the good flowers.
I know. I mean, if a fresh cut flower doesn't make you happy, I don't know what the fuck it will.
Yeah. And you know what? If you're not taking the time to enjoy the flowers in life, you're using too many conveniences.
Preach.
So my gripe is, and this is a stupid one too, but you know what? Why can we put people in space, but we cannot figure out a way to make glue and medicine tubes to where when we pierce them with the lid, all the product doesn't just come out immediately?
Wait, what? Glue and
okay.
what?
Have you ever used a super glue or gotten a medication that's in a plastic tube, or sometimes the glue's in a little aluminum tube, and you turn the cap upside down and pierce the thing, and then it all just immediately comes out without you even squeezing the tube?
Yeah.
Okay? Why?
There's
like, not a better engineering of a tube?
Right.
I'm over it. I've been doing my crafting. I can't tell you.
It's fucking you up.
Okay, super glue's expensive, and 3/4 of the product is coming out the second I pierce the tube.
Yeah, and dangerous. You don't want to be touching super glue and getting your shit all stuck together.
No.
Yeah, it's no bueno.
So somebody needs to get on that.
You should ask AI. How do we fix the super glue issue in this world?
Yeah, because it's a serious
and
problem.
Then you should have Kurt engineer it and then copyright it, and then you could be millionaires.
Well, if he would just copyright the Lake Monroe game, we would be millionaires. But what are you gonna do?
That's right. Yeah, I know. Get on that. Don't be saying it on the podcast.
Patent,
yeah.
Patent, not copyright.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
I know. I'll probably have to cut that out because he'll be like, "Don't be talking about the Lake Monroe game."
Oh, that's what I just said. You can't be giving that away.
The other thing I want to know about is anyone actually, I feel like you watch shows, you watch movies, is anybody actually covering their entire like hands and arms and legs in lotion in their bed? Why are the women always doing this in shows and TV?
In bed? No.
Yes, they get in bed and they're pulling their little lotion bottle out and they're lotioning up in bed.
I'm like, put lotion on in bed.
No, it's gonna get all over your sheets.
No.
That shit's got to soak in. It's a post-shower situation. It's 100%. Not it's the second you get into bed situation.
I've maybe sat on the couch and put lotion on, but that's
maybe.
Yeah, that's it. Never.
Anyway, I don't think I have a grape. Do I have a grape? Let me see here.
Grapes are hard.
Sometimes grapes are hard. You know what I'm saying? I do have a grape.
Oh, good.
I recently purchased a pineapple corer.
Oh, wow.
If you don't have one or you've not used one, you are truly missing out.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
How does it work? Do you shove it up the butt or do you cut off the top?
You cut the top off. You shove it down. You just twist it in. Nice. And then you just pull the whole thing out and it spiral cuts it.
Oh, sounds hot.
Yeah, it's great. We've been eating pineapple.
Like crazy.
And you can make a little pineapple cup. It makes a little pineapple cup. Then you can put like a little pina colada in there.
Ooh, yeah.
It's great.
My language.
So do yourself a favor.
I do love pineapple, and it is hard to cut. I need to get a mango. Do they make a mango core? Because those bitches are really hard to cut up.
You know, I've mastered the mango.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, you'll have to teach
my kids love them.
They're so delicious.
Yeah. I've mastered the mango.
Nice.
I did cut my finger really bad one time peeling a mango, though.
Ooh.
I hit a little rotten spot and it stuck. And then, there was a giant hole in my pinky for a while where I just took a chunk out. I never cut myself with a chef's knife, ever. But a vegetable peeler or the bread knife, fucking forget about it.
I guess.
All right. Cool, I think that's all we got.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.